In this demo, we'll create a virtual machine scale set using the Azure portal. To start, using Create Resource in the Marketplace, we'll create a load balancer. So we'll search for load balancer, select it, and click Create. Once we are started with the creation of the load balancer, we will create a new resource group to hold all of the resources of this demo. We'll call that Contoso Resource Group 4. And in the instance detail, we'll give it a name to the load balancer itself. So Contoso LB1 for load balancer 1. It is a public-facing load balancer, and we will use the SKU standard, the standard SKU for this demo. We'll create a new IP address, or the public IP address, that the load balancer will present to the internet. We'll call that Contoso LBP1 for load balancer P1. And we'll make this a zone redundant load balancer for redundancy. We'll click Review and Create, and then Create. Once it's being created, while it's being created, let's talk about this machine scale set. The scale set is a set of identical VMs that is meant to be able to scale either manually or automatically. Now that the deployment is complete, we will go back to our resource group, so Contoso Resource Group 4, and from there, we now have our load balancer and the IP address. We can click on the Add button to add the machine scale set. So in the Marketplace, we search for Virtual Machine Scale Set, select that, click Create, and go through the process of creating the scale set. The scale set that we're using will use a machine scale set name called Contoso SC1 for scale set number 1. We will leave the availability zone to none for now, and select the Windows Server 2019 image for our machines to be based on. Select a username and a password of our choosing. In the disk, we will leave this as default. For networking, we'll go to the bottom of the networking section, and in the load balancing section, we'll say yes, we're going to use a load balancer. And a load balancer, not an application gateway at this point, and we'll use the one that we've pre-created. We don't have a backend pool for this load balancer currently, so we'll create a new one. So we'll call this Contoso Load Balancer Backend Pool. And in the scaling, we will say that we'll start with 2 instances and use manual scaling policy instead of custom. We will go to the management, leave this as default, click Review and Create, and Create. Now the system is going to go out. Azure Resource Manager is going to take that information, deploy 2 identical machines behind our load balancer for us to use and scale for high availability in IaaS. Once that's completed, we go back to our resource group and we can notice that we have our scale sets that's there. And if we double click on it, we can validate that we have in fact 2 instances of our machines running.